All right, today we are going to tackle the Linux command line. We're going to take this thing that looks super cryptic and turn it into something you can actually understand and use, and we're going to do it in just the next few minutes.
So, does this sound familiar? You look at that blinking cursor and you just feel this wave of information overload, like there's too much to learn. Look, if you've ever felt that way, you are definitely not alone. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to start with the absolute first step, literally just getting in the door.
So yeah, this first part is all about making that initial connection, stepping into this new environment, and just getting a feel for what you're even looking at.
Okay, first things first. What in the world is this shell that you're logging into? The easiest way to think about it is this. It's your personal translator. It's the program that takes the commands you type and translates them into actions for the computer's core, the operating system, to actually perform.
Now, to make that connection, you're going to use something called SSH, or Secure Shell. And honestly, this part is non-negotiable. Here's why. SSH wraps everything you do, your password, your commands, all of it, in a layer of encryption. Older methods, like Telnet, just send it all out as plain text. It's like shouting your password across a crowded room. So the rule is simple. Always, always use SSH.
Once you're in, the prompt itself gives you a massive clue about who you are on this system. If you see a $sign, you're a regular user. You have standard permissions. But if you see a #, that means you're root. You're the super user. You have total, absolute power over the entire machine.
Okay, so we're in. Now what? You got to figure out where you are, right? It's time to get our bearings by learning how to navigate the file system. You know, everything in Linux lives inside one big family tree of directories, and it all starts from a single spot, that /, which we call the root directory. This slide here is like your basic map. Just knowing that /etc is for configurations and /home is where your stuff lives, well, it's the difference between being a tourist and knowing the layout of the city.
So, how do you move around this city? Well, you only need 3 commands to start. ls lets you list what's in the room with you. pwd will print your working directory. It's your "you are here" dot on the map. And cd is how you change directory to actually go somewhere else. List, print, change. That's really your entire foundation for navigation.
And to get around way faster, these shortcuts are your absolute best friends. The little tilde character is a quick ticket back home to your home directory. A single dot just means right here, and 2 dots means the directory one level above me. Trust me, you are going to be typing cd ... all the time.
But here it is. This is the single most important command you can learn on your first day. Man. It stands for manual. You type man and then any other command, and bam, you get the official user manual. This is the command that lets you teach yourself. With man, you're never really lost or stuck.
All right, before we start making files or deleting anything, we have to get one thing straight: the rules of the road. And in Linux, the rules are all about permissions. Every single file and folder has its own set of permissions, and there are really only 3 basic types. Read lets you see what's inside, write lets you change it, and execute lets you run it like a program. These can also be represented by numbers, 4, 2, and 1, which, as you'll see, is a super handy shortcut.
So who gets these permissions? Well, they're set for 3 different categories. First, there's the owner, that's you. Second, there's the group, you can think of that as your team. And third, there's others, which is, everyone else. This structure gives you super fine-grained control over who can do what.
Now, this level of control leads to some really powerful and, let's be honest, dangerous commands. A command like rm can delete things in an instant, and when they're gone, they are gone. There is no recycle bin, there is no undelete button. This is why you always have to pause and think twice before you hit enter on a command like this.
Okay, now we get to the really cool part. This is the magic of Linux, where we see how you can combine a bunch of simple little tools to do incredibly powerful work.
And the secret ingredient for all this magic? It's the pipe, that vertical bar symbol. You should think of it exactly like a piece of plumbing. It literally takes the flow of information coming out of one command and funnels it directly into the input of the next command. It's a simple idea, but it changes everything.
And this is how you build what we call a pipeline. Instead of running one command, waiting, then running a second command on the results, you just connect them. So here we could use a command called strings to pull text out of a file and then immediately pipe that text into another command, grep, to search for a name. It all happens in one elegant, efficient line.
But what if you don't want to send the output to another command? What if you just want to save it in a file? Well, that's called redirection. A single greater than sign will create a file or completely override an old one with your output. The double greater than sign, though, will just add your output to the end of the file. It's the difference between writing a brand new note and just adding a line to an existing one.
So with these core ideas, navigating, understanding permissions, and building pipelines, you're not just a visitor on the command line anymore. You're actually ready to start building things.
And the journey just keeps going. From here, you can learn to manage all the programs running on the system, use tools like cron to schedule tasks to happen automatically, and even customize your entire environment to make it work just for you.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about memorizing a dictionary of commands. The real goal is to start thinking in a new way, to see how you can solve problems by chaining these small, sharp tools together to create something powerful and efficient.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's some boring, repetitive task that you do all the time that you could now automate or just make way faster with these new tools? The possibilities are pretty much endless. That's all for this explanation.